This is my review on Spy Kids Game Over. Spy Kids 3 Game Over. Also known as Spy Kids 3D Game Over. Cat Pictures came on 3D. Very clever. Not. So the movie opens up with Judy. Our main character Judy is a private investigator, because some time ago, he quit being a spy kid. Quit being a spy and working with his sister, and hasn't heard anything from his sister lately or anyone. And this girl that was sort of Jude's girlfriend in the Spy Kids 2, but it's not at all in the third installment of the Spy Kids franchise. So she says this woman wants everybody's your family, and he says that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I thought it made sense. But hey, it'll make sense in the climax of the movie. So, I'm trying to keep my voice down because I think people are asleep below me. Why do I keep on? Why am I so loud? So, anyway. No, wait, that's too quiet. Let's do casualties. Hey, okay. So, anyway, so his sister Judy's sister is trapped. Judy's sister Carmen, Carmen. Carmen is trapped inside this video game that everyone across the world is playing. And the people who are playing it don't know that their souls are trapped inside the game. So that's why we're going. That's addicting as hell, because it looks more like the game's more addicting than they have their souls trapped in the game. But okay, souls trapped in the game, the mind belongs to this guy called the Toy Maker, played by Sylvester Stallone, also known as Rocky and Rambo. Yeah, I have the calendar up because I got a new calendar, but it's for the wrong year. 2018. So, yeah, it's nice calendar. It looks nice though. So anyway, yeah, so he has to go inside the game to get his sister Carmen out of the game, and he has to beat the game in order to get her out, and had to get. She's like somewhere trapped on the final level of the game, and you see, he wants to know why didn't she call for help with me? She did try calling for you, but you wouldn't answer. So she went in by herself because you were too busy doing your own thing. So in other words, this is Judy's fault because he didn't answer his phone calls. And that's the mostly top on it, top tackle this topic in the entire film. So he goes in the game, puts on these 3D glasses. Yeah, because this film's a product and to try and get you to go see in 3D to make you feel like you're in the movie with the kids that are wearing those 3D glasses. In this movie, in order to play the game. And he goes inside the game, and these group of kids think that he's the guy. And the guy is this guy, that's the guy that has the ability to be, that's programmed inside the game and exists somewhere inside the game. Basically, he's Jesus Christ. So it's a video game avatar that's a messiah that everyone looks up to. And you know, he plays along, that says that he's the guy. And you know, these group of friends go along on this adventure with him to save his sister. And Judy eventually gets a girlfriend in the game. And he falls in love with and has this romantic relationship with, there's a lot of things that's crammed in this movie. But trust me, it's perfectly fine to watch. And on the moon, in the game, he summons Grandpa in the game by his own free will. And he says, we're in this game that was made by the toy maker. He says, he's been hunting, it turns out Grandpa's been hunting him down for years. And he's the one that put him in the wheelchair. And he gets a avatar makeover with. Where he gets his legs back. And he also has super strength and can leap in a single bound. And gets distracted by a normal sized butterfly. We don't see him till later on in the third act of the film. And one of his friends that's really smart duels him in order to progress to the next level of the game. And his girlfriend makes a sacrifice. Makes a sacrifice of putting herself in the match because Judy was losing in order for Judy to find his sister Carmen. And his grandpa comes back in the movie and says, "Don't fall in love with the game, Judy." And they have to find a level when they find out Jude's not really the guy, but Frodo Baggins is the guy. Really, that's more badass than... Frodo's more badass than Judy. I mean, I'm not saying Jude's that really badass, but when you think of what the guy, you would think someone actually cool. When you hear that word, the guy, you would think of someone actually cool. Like, I don't know anyone. I don't know, Tom Cruise, Johansson, Chris Evans, attacking Al Pacino, Bruce Willis. I mean, even Mini-Me from Austin Powers sounds more badass than Frodo Baggins. The guy who played Frodo Baggins, and he looks like a total geek in that metal costume that's supposed to make him looking cool and badass. He looks, well, I'm just going to, the costume's nice, but he makes it look, well, less cool than Shaq from Steel. And, that's quite an accomplishment. So anyway, he instantly dies, loses all 100 of his health, 100 of his health, goes completely down in the matter of seconds. So his friend says, "Okay, Jude, you're the guy again." Because the guy made one bad move and he died. And he says, "Cake." And he did. Dead. Mm. Mm. So he's the guy again. He psychotelepathy communicates with his sister. That's very not explained in the movie. And she says, "Tell me something that Carmen would say. My feet stink." And so we see a shot of her sister Carmen, and we see his girlfriend came back from the dead, and she points, her sister Carmen points out that she was a program this entire time, not an actual person created by the toy maker, but however still has artificial intelligence, has artificial intelligence, mind of his own and emotions, and feels sorry that she tricked Judy, and saying it's part of my programming, Judy, sorry. And the toy maker congratulates them. "Congratulations, you made it at the end of the game. You made it to the final level." Oh, and for the film, Stallone in the game is literally talking to different versions of himself. One's a hippie. One's a bigger idiot than Stallone's character, which is, I don't know, himself. It's really hard to, if Stallone's playing himself or he's playing a character. But seriously, Stallone does a really good job in this film, and he does give a very entertaining performance as the toy maker. So the toy maker shuts down the game, and they all exit out of the game safely. And we see his friends actually in real life are losers and even bigger jackasses. Because they're very, you can tell that they're very unhappy how they turned out. Which makes them even more losers when I think about it, I guess. I don't know, I just don't want to do, I'm trying not to do too much explaining, but this is enough to explain so you get the story. So anyway, June. So who are you out in the real world? I'm just Agent Judy Cortez. Which is who he was in the game. He says that he's Agent Judy Cortez, and they figured he was the guy. But he said that he's Agent Judy Cortez on a mission to find his sister and get out of the game. Get her out of the game was him. And he told his whole entire point of mission. So he was the only one that played himself in the game. Okay. But wait, the game's not over. Well, okay, the game's over, but the movie's not over. Because the toy maker has brought this robot in the real world that you can only see with the glasses that you're supposed to wear in the game. I'm so confused how this works, but my head's is bothering me too much to even question this. So, okay, so June calls in his entire family, and they can't take down the toy maker once and for all. So, what does June do? He remembers that the girl said that everyone's his family. So he calls everyone in. That's right, even the bad guys that were in bad guys in the even the bad guy that was a bad guy in the first Spy Kids film. He is now a good guy, although he was in friends with Junior in common, which he was out of nowhere in the second one. So okay. So it's up to Grandpa to take down the toy maker because no one else can take down the toy maker except Grandpa. So what does he do? He defeats the toy maker for the power of guilt. And grief. And goes on to a long list, that goes on what he missed since he put him in this wheelchair, and says that he forgives him because he knows that the toy maker feels bad. And the toy maker says that he gave his legs back in the end. He gave that for him. And so he says it's not too late to do the right thing. Says that to the toy maker. So the toy maker says, "Game over," and shuts the robot off. And toy maker and Grandpa are alive, and Buzz now, or again, it's kind of confusing. So they all hold hands, and hold hands, and they say to family, and they say and break, and it goes to the credits, and the guy asks an excellent question: who the heck won? And the toy maker and Grandpa says, it's not about if you win, it's about how you play the game. That's not really an answer to that question, but okay. I am confused to that answer. So, overall, besides some seriously confusing places in the movie, I say it's pretty good. So, I give it a thumbs up. I would have given it 2 thumbs up if it didn't give me a headache as much. I would have given it 2 thumbs up if it didn't give me a headache. Headache. Period. So my PTSD is kicking in. When my PTSD kicks in, I repeat myself over and over. That time was on purpose. Okay, so bye.